You don't even notice the beginning. It's just a tilted picture frame, hanging slightly to the left. The kind of thing most people ignore. But not you. Not this time. You fix it. Then you walk away. But you feel it. This flicker of discomfort, like the air didn't clear, like the world didn't snap into place. So you go back, check it again. Make sure it's straight, just a little to the right, no left. They're perfect, except it's not. Not really, because now you're staring at the wall itself, and the baseboard, and the floor beneath it, and none of it is aligned. You leave the room, but the thought follows you. You notice the rug in the hallway is off center. The kitchen towels aren't lined up perfectly. The soap dispenser is leaning. The faucet has one handle slightly lower than the other. And suddenly, everything is wrong. The world feels like a jigsaw puzzle hammered into place. Nothing fits. Nothing flows. You aren't just annoyed. You're uneasy. As if the lack of symmetry is a warning. As if the chaos means something. You start adjusting things compulsively. Chairs, books, shoelaces, hairlines in the mirror. You don't even think about it now. Your hands just move. But the relief is temporary, because the symmetry never lasts. A breeze moves the curtain. A shadow shifts. A drawer sticks out half a centimeter too far. The world is full of imbalance. And now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Friends laugh, call you a perfectionist. You laugh too, at first, but one night you wake up at 2 a.m. because the living room lamp is rotated slightly clockwise. You check. It is. You fix it. And you finally feel like you can breathe again. That's when it hits you. This isn't about cleanliness or order. It's about control. You're trying to force the universe to behave. It works for a while, until it doesn't. Because now, even perfect symmetry isn't enough. Now, you start doubting your own perception. You measure things twice, 3 times. You take photos, use rulers. You tell yourself it's fine. But the moment you walk away, the doubt returns. Was the frame really level? Or did your eyes deceive you? And the question becomes unbearable. Not because of the frame, but because you no longer trust your own mind. Your world has become a grid, a prison made of lines. Every object must justify its position. Every pattern must be accounted for. You walk down the street and count the windows, the bricks, the fence posts. If one is missing, you feel sick. If one is out of alignment, you feel like the day can't continue. It's not just annoying. It's paralyzing. Like your brain will implode if the world doesn't balance out. Like your very existence is being threatened by a misaligned painting. And maybe it is. Because deep down, you're starting to wonder, what happens if I stop correcting it? What part of me will collapse if the world stays broken? Is no longer just the world that needs to be straight. Now, your thoughts must align too. You start avoiding certain words because they feel crooked. Some sounds feel uneven in your mouth, like a staircase that skips a step. So you say things twice, 3 times, until the syllables fall into a rhythm that your brain accepts. You don't tell anyone, because deep down, you know this isn't just habit. This is architecture, and your mind has become an unstable structure, held together by ritual and repetition. You organize everything. Clothes sorted by color, size, texture, books by thickness, font, year, apps on your phone arranged by the first letter of their function, messages rewritten over and over, until the paragraphs balance. Not emotionally, visually. If one line is longer than the other, you cut it, split it, reword it, until the digital symmetry looks safe. You don't think it's beautiful. You just feel like something terrible will happen if you don't get it right. At first, people compliment your sense of order. Wow, your room is so organized. You're so precise with everything. Wish I had your discipline. You smile, tight-lipped, because it's not discipline. It's fear. It's exhaustion. Because behind that order is chaos. One you're barely holding back. And you start to notice that every time you clean something, straighten something, count something, the anxiety returns stronger. Because you're feeding it, not fighting it. Sleep becomes difficult. Because your bed feels misaligned, you flip the pillow, adjust the blanket, lie perfectly still. But the thoughts spiral. Did you touch the doorknob exactly the right number of times before bed? Did the hallway lights flicker in a symmetrical rhythm? What if you brushed your left side more than your right? What if your dreams become lopsided? You close your eyes, but you're still measuring, still calculating, still scanning the dark for imbalance. Your brain starts to impose grids on faces. People don't look like people anymore. You see asymmetries, unmatched eyebrows, uneven smiles, tilted posture. You can't focus on what they're saying because your mind is busy fixing their features. Sometimes you stop listening entirely because a nose is slightly off center. And then you feel guilty, ashamed, but the guilt doesn't erase the obsession. It just adds to the imbalance. Then come the numbers. Numbers everywhere. Your brain divides everything. Steps, words, movements, breaths. You don't even know why. Only that they must fall into even groups, preferably 4s or 8s. 6 is unstable. 9 is disgusting. If you blink 7 times in 1 minute, you must blink once more. If the sound of someone's laugh falls on an odd cadence, you feel like scratching your skin. You're not trying to understand the world anymore. You're trying to equalize it. Because deep down, you believe that if one half of the world is heavier, the other will collapse. And you're terrified that you're the one who must hold it all up by lining up the salt and pepper shakers. You stop trusting your own judgment. You take photos of things you already measured, then measure the photos. You compare screenshots, count pixels, zoom into dust on the frame. You don't know when this started, but you can't stop. Because if you don't do it, something inside your chest tightens. Like your heart is caught between two walls that don't match. And you start wondering, what if your brain isn't misfiring? What if the world really is misaligned and you're the only one who sees it? What if this isn't a disorder, but a curse of clarity? You thought symmetry was the solution, the thing that would make the world make sense again. But now you realize it's consuming meaning itself. You look at your face in the mirror and it no longer looks like you. It's just two halves. You're constantly comparing. One eyelid sits slightly lower. One nostril opens wider. One tooth angles wrong. You lean in, tilt your head, try to breathe evenly through both sides. But your reflection stares back with growing suspicion. And you don't know which part of your face is real anymore. You only know that you hate it because it never looks the same twice. You start avoiding mirrors altogether, not out of vanity, out of mental erosion. Because if your face is a lie, what else is? You begin noticing asymmetries in language. Words feel heavy on one side. Sentences collapse when read backward. Some names feel imbalanced, and you stop saying them out loud. Even your memories feel like they shift when you think of them, like they're leaning, distorted, rewritten by the side of your brain that you don't control. You no longer want things to be beautiful. You just want them to be balanced, even if they're lifeless, sterile, cold. You begin throwing away gifts, objects with sentimental value. If their shapes don't match, they go. A crooked photo of your childhood, an old mug from your grandmother, the bent keychain your friend gave you. Gone. You don't cry because your emotions are being restructured and your memories are starting to lose depth because you're flattening them like images That must fit a frame. You begin to suspect you're building a prison. Every straightened object, every aligned angle, every corrected sentence adds another bar to the cage. And worst of all, you like it because the order is the only thing that keeps the panic from erupting. But the panic hasn't left. It's just waiting for the tiniest crack in your routine to explode through. One night, you wake up and realize the wall is breathing. It's not a hallucination, not in the classic sense. You see the wallpaper flex and tighten. The corners throb. The lines between tiles bend ever so slightly, like the room is sighing. You don't scream. You stare, because something inside you recognizes it. This is what you've been preparing for. Not madness, correction. You weren't aligning things to feel safe. You were aligning them to survive this. You press your palm against the wall. It feels like skin, cool, vibrating. Your heartbeat accelerates, but not from fear, from resonance. Something behind the symmetry has started watching you back, not judging, not attacking, just calibrating. And for a second, you feel in sync with the universe. But it doesn't last because the wall exhales and your entire world bends. It used to be your mind that shaped the world. Now it's the other way around. The room no longer looks like a room. The corners you once straightened are now sharp enough to cut thought. The symmetry you chased, it has turned on you. Because once everything is aligned, there's nowhere left to hide. You sit still for hours. You don't blink. Because the moment you move, something shifts out of place. And if it shifts, you'll have to fix it. And if you fix it, you'll have to fix the next thing. And the next, you are no longer a person. You are a mechanism of correction. And the world keeps breaking, just so you can keep fixing it. Your thoughts no longer come in words. They come in grids. A sound is either even or odd. A memory is either centered or lost. A feeling is either symmetrical or wrong. You've started to speak in syllables that match, repeating phrases just to balance your sentences. If a sentence ends unevenly, you feel sick, physically sick. You vomit when someone moves your belongings. You shake when a clock ticks slightly offbeat. You cry without knowing why, when a shadow falls at a slant. One day, a friend visits, or maybe it's someone you knew a long time ago. They look at your apartment and freeze. There are no books, no art, no curtains, no color, only white, only angles, only silence. They ask if you're okay. You tilt your head. Their face is asymmetrical. Their nose bends slightly to the left. You cannot hear their words because your mind is screaming, fix it, fix it, fix it. You don't hurt them. You just ask them to leave. But after they go, you see their footprints on the floor. Uneven, disturbing. So you spend the next 6 hours cleaning, and the next 6 aligning, and the next 6 watching the wall breathe again. You haven't slept in days, but the room is perfect, and you're no longer sure you need sleep, or light, or food, just control. You wake up one night, except you never went to sleep. The wall no longer breathes. You do, but your breath sounds like squares. Your heartbeat echoes like a ruler snapping. And when you blink, you see everything in fractals, infinitely mirrored versions of yourself, not whole, just repeated, each one trying to be more perfect than the last. None of them succeeding. The world outside your apartment doesn't feel real anymore. It curves, it pulses, it misaligns. You stopped going out weeks ago. You stopped opening the door. You told yourself it was for peace. But deep down, you know, the real world is asymmetrical, and you're not built for that anymore.